Here we are, November means good fishing. I really like fishing in November. Halloween is done. We're done with the pumpkin, all that kind of stuff. We're getting into bass fishing in November, starting to cool down, middle part of the country. Things are gonna get good. Top 4 lures for this time of year, top 4 for November. Number 1, this is the jig. I'm gonna go with a jig a lot throughout the fall. I love a jig in the fall. It's a 1/2 ounce mini flip jig, brown crawl. I really like crawfish imitating colors in the fall. Catch a lot of bigger fish, starting with the bait that probably gets you the bigger bites in the fall. Gonna go to rockier banks, banks that do have bait fish present, but they're gonna be more on that rockier stuff, rockier points, under docks, especially docks that have some rock on them. So first, number 1 is going to be the jig. Number 2 is the rock crawler. That's right, I wanna rock. I wanna rock. We're gonna go with the rock crawler, Spro rock crawler. Great crankbait. It really gets good. It starts to get good in October, but then in November when things start cooling down more, that's when that rock crawler bite really starts to get on. And, you know, the middle part of the country, when that water temperature gets below 60, down especially into like the mid to low 50s, that's when that rock crawler bite's really gonna get rocking. And this green crawl is probably my absolute favorite color, but I think that's red bug. That's another good color. This is another good color. And then water gets a little bit clearer. The phantom green is one of my favorites as well. So a bunch of good colors in the rock crawler. I think a lot of people know about that bait, but just know that November is the time you're gonna throw that. 2 other baits I wanna throw at you. The next one is a Neko rig. That's right. If you're lucky enough to have forward-facing sonar on your boat, out on the lake, in the fall, you're gonna see a lot of fish suspended in the water column. Missile Baits quiver is what I use on the 4.5 inch version, is what I use on a Neko rig most of the time. I'm gonna take a Gamakatsu G Finesse 1/0 split shot drop shot hook and just rig that right in the middle like wacky style. And then I'm gonna take one of 2 weights, kind of depending on where I'm seeing a lot of the fish. If I'm seeing fish less than 10 feet in the water column, that's what I'm preferring. I'm gonna go with a lighter weight, like a 1/32. And I'll just show you how you insert that in there. You take the little weight, insert it right into the end of that worm, and then you're gonna take that thing and flick that little 1/32 wherever you're scanning around. You see that fish up in the water column, throw that thing out there in that general vicinity, and just let that thing fall. And as it gets down to the fish, you can see the fish on the live scope or whatever forward facing you're using. If you can see the fish on there and you throw that Neko rig quiver over there, as that bait's starting to fall, before it gets to those fish, you're gonna give that thing a little tug, let that bait make a little quiver action, and man, a lot of times that's what triggers them, and they'll just see that thing falling. If they're a little deeper, say, you know, 8 to 10 to like 20, 25, you know, that 10 to 20 foot range, I would go with a 1/16 ounce weight. It's gonna fall a little bit faster, but it's gonna get down there. But if you have a little bit of wind blowing, it's not gonna be, too much wind. So those are the 2 weights that I usually use in the fall when I'm seeing those fish suspended. But another little trick to catch those suspended fish, whether you're seeing them or not, can be a little ball head jig and a little small swim baits, Missile Baits. Shockwave 3.5 works great. It starts in November. This bait is really key for the next couple months. It is a great wintertime bait. Whenever you're seeing a lot of those shad kind of get grouped up in certain areas, take that little ball head jig. 1/4 ounce weight's probably what you want to go with. Take that, throw it over there, let it sink down through those fish, and then just slowly reel it and hold on. Make sure you tie a good knot. That is usually something I throw on a spinning reel, spinning rod combination, probably like 8-pound test on my leader. Basically the same thing for the Neko rig, probably about 8-pound test. I'm gonna probably throw 12 pound, Sunline Crank FC, 10 or 12 on the rock crawler, and then on the mini flip, 18 or 20 pound is usually where I'm going to go with that. So keep with those top 4. No, that's 8. Top 4. Keep with the top 4 for November, and you'll be putting fish in the boat.